What's going on, everybody? It's Lunchroom Weekly. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram at Lunchroom Weekly. Lots of people have taken interest in the story about James Joyner. Media outlets, law enforcement, and even Steve Wilkos has reached out in efforts of getting some answers. The family of James Joyner made an official statement via Facebook Live. In this Facebook Live, they talked in detail about the events leading up to James disappearing.
He called me. I can't remember what time it was, but he called me that afternoon. We was on the phone. He was laying in the bed. They were at a hotel room. I never seen Edwin, while me and James was on the phone, but I'm guessing, he was somewhere in the room at the time. But anyways, me and James was on the phone, and he had asked me, did I see anything? It was me, my Aunt Keisha, and my little brother, Joyner. And, at the time, I really was, confused because I didn't know what he was talking about, as far as, asking me, did I see anything? So I was like, James, what the hell are you talking about? Or whatever. So, we got off the phone, and it was on my conscience to call him back. So I called him back. I was like, James, what's wrong with you? And, he was just he felt like he was hallucinating. And, and it's the more I was talking to him, he was just getting calmer and calmer and calmer. And he told me that he had a dream that I was having a little boy. And I was probably 2 or 3 months pregnant with my son. And, I didn't know what I was having at the time. So he was telling me, he had a dream that I was having a little boy or whatever. And, we ended the conversation off good. And he told me, he was going to get himself together. He was going to call me back. So later on that night, it was probably 3 o'clock in the morning. Edwin called me. And he said, call your brother. He was like, call your brother. Your brother stole my keys. He hasn't came back in the room. And I was confused because I'm like, well, what's going on? Did you guys get into an argument or whatever? It was, he told me they didn't get into no argument. James just stole his keys supposedly and just left the room.
Originally, Edwin stated that James left the hotel room and never returned. But since then, Edwin has had contact with a mutual friend in which he discussed the events in detail. Before you listen to this voice message, I strongly encourage you to proceed with caution, as what you hear will be heavy, disturbing, and maybe triggering.
Hey, love. God, this is it was meant to happen because ever since this message went on today, I've been getting this weird vibes, and I under this energy of betrayal and this dark energy of some eyes looking at me, conspiring against my will. And in fact, I was right, because then I get on Facebook and I see all these people retweeting the message about his disappearance, and people, they was adding me, all these people, I got 100 friend requests, new friend requests, and all I know is those are infiltrators that I just don't trust that. So I was telling you, me and James first reunited back in December 2019. When I first came back, we reunited, and we was both in the habit. We was addicts. We was addicts, and we decided to take a journey, leave Clinton. 2020, once January 2020 came, we left Clinton and we left to different states: Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, and then finally Atlanta. So when we left to Atlanta, the day we arrived to Atlanta, we didn't immediately check into a hotel room because we just had got there, so we didn't get one. And so we stayed. We slept in the car during this journey. Sometimes, we slept in cars, and sometimes we were able to get hotel rooms. At the same time, we were still able to get our drugs, and we was trapping. We was selling drugs, if you want to say that. So when we was in Atlanta, we reached out to people who did the same thing that we did. And in the midst of that, we met a special person. We met a person that knew somebody that knew the plug, so we can re-up on our drugs and, you know, start fresh. Because we was with the mentality that we came to Atlanta because we was, you know, it was our calling. It was something in Atlanta for us to go. That spirit was calling us to go there. So we went randomly. We left Charlotte. From Charlotte, we went to Atlanta. And when we got to Atlanta, we immediately got into our websites and our apps, dating apps, and we met somebody that knew a plug where we can re-up again. So we met that person. We picked him up, and that person, you know, he introduced us to his person, and we did the business, the transaction, and then we move on to, we went to Stone Mountain that weekend. We went to Stone Mountain and to Decatur. When we was in Decatur, the way we survived, we would go to Walmart and we would go shoplift. You know, we would go boost, and we will come, you know what I'm saying, we will, like, whatever we'll boost, we'll sell it, or we would just boost for ourselves, for our own personal needs, whatever we needed. When it was in Decatur, that day, we was both high, I remember, and we went to Walmart, and we always had this way of doing things, like everything, you know what I'm saying, we knew how to do it so quick that was so obvious, and we come out, you know, free and nothing happened to us. So we will always you know, do a prayer, like protection to come out, to go in and come out quick with everything, with nothing and no harmless, and no harm done upon us. On this specific day, things didn't work out like they were supposed to, because I noticed James was very weird, like he was like in his head. So he was not like he wasn't being he was being obvious. I remember I told him that he was being obvious, and he took that as me being mean to him. So boom, we fill up the cart. Then when we get to self-checkout, how we usually do our thing, this time we didn't do it because I had forgot my debit card, my card in the car, and we couldn't pay for that stuff, and of course we couldn't just steal it. So I told him, hold on right here, wait for me, and I'm gonna go to the car and get my card. As I'm walking out the door, I don't know what made him push that cart, and he starts coming towards me. I didn't tell him nothing because I didn't expect. It was not in my mind that he would do something like walk out with the whole cart. So as I go down, like as I go out, once I'm out already, I see that he don't came out with the cart, and they got him. I was like, oh my God. So they got him, but because coronavirus was just starting that time, he only had got a citation. They put him in. They took him back there and took him to the police. Put him behind the police car, but they released him right quick because they only gave him a citation for what he did. After that incident, we left with the same person that we met that day to go meet the plug to go re-up, and after that we went to the Days Inn in College Park, Georgia. We got the room. I paid for it, and I went to took a shower. He stayed in the room with the guy that we met, and with the person that was supposed to come and deliver the stuff. I was in the shower. So when I come out, he's like very weird and feeling weird, like he's in his feelings, like something happened, like he didn't enjoy it. So I asked him, what did they do to you, or what happened, or was it not good? And he didn't tell me. He just said it was nothing. It was just what it was, and he was really nonchalant. And I noticed that, I don't know, that he was so high that whenever he met boys and he would like them, he would get in his feelings and catch feelings, and that affected him that night. Because I remember asking him, did you catch feelings with this guy or one of them? Even though he didn't tell me the truth, I knew that that's what it was, because his eyes gave me the look in his eyes, and I knew that it was something wrong, even though he didn't tell me. So after the guy left that came and delivered, the other guy still stayed because he was kind of like leached onto us because he didn't have no transportation or nowhere else to go. So as he called, he was homeless. So we let him stay, kicked out of there. So James asked me for my car keys, and he said, I'm going to go to the car. So the guy didn't say, I said, well, I called him out, and the guy, he left. He got in the car with a female, and he left. They didn't come back. So the day that they came back, I think that they would come back. I had to call me a locksmith and give me a new car, a new key made, because I was scared that it would come back and they would try it again. When the locksmith came, gave me a new key, he still didn't come back. I was still worried. I paid for one more night to the hotel and stayed there and hoping that he would come back that Monday. This is that Monday. It's now Monday. He didn't come back. So I paid for that one last night. That one last night I left and I asked the guy, and I took the guy that was with us, is he heard anything? And he acted like he was like nothing. It wasn't nothing gonna happen to him. Or he was acting like he was lost or he didn't know what's gonna happen. Or he was trying to make me believe that James did what he did because he wanted to and he wanted to leave me. So before James left me, James said something to me that he said that my mama told me that you set me up at Walmart earlier. How could you do that to me? And he started like his eyes started watering before he asked me for the car keys. So whenever he took the decision to take my keys, he acted upon ego to get back to me because he thought that I had got him and backstabbed him because he thought that I told him to walk out the store earlier that day when he got caught. When I did not, don't remember saying that. And mind you, when you're high, I'm not thinking about, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking that he was going to do such thing like that, such a atrocity like that. So I wasn't even thinking that, that he was going to do that. And I damn sure didn't tell him to walk out. I never would do that because we knew we was in this together, and we knew we struggle together. And if we go in together, we come out together. There's no such thing as leaving you there. 2 weeks passed after this event. His sister reached out to me and called me and told me that his uncle in Raleigh has seen a news report of a body found in West Side Atlanta of a body found. And she sent me the link and the news report article, and I went to the place where they had found that body. I went and I searched that, and it was an abandoned house. And then I started looking for people around and started asking people around what they knew about this missing body that they found. I found a lady who said her kids one Saturday morning discovered the body while they was playing outside. I asked her one question. I say, could you see what the body had or what it had? She said it was wrapped in a hospital gown, and all you could see was the feet hanging out with one slide missing and blue jeans. When she said that, I knew it was him because the night he left the hotel room, that's what he had on. He just put on a denim jean jacket, his blue jeans, and some black Nike slides. She told me that I felt this sensation in my soul where I just started crying and it started raining immediately. I knew that was him. I knew that was him because there's no such way that when you're in Atlanta, and you're in Raleigh, how is there a specific Atlanta segment is gonna come and show to the North Carolina? That didn't work like that. And that's when I started putting two and two together. I was like, that was the message, because the sister even told me, because she was worried. She was like, Edwin, where is James? I had a dream last night that he was dead. Where is he? And then my uncle called me and said that they found a body. So today that this has happened, it has come to my attention that the person that we met in Atlanta, that person did, he had blonde hair, because he was showing me some pictures and stuff like that. I think he had blonde hair then, if I can remember. That person had to be the person that had to do something with his disappearance. And whatever they did to him to get back at me, this is what my intuition figured out, because he was mad at me. And he was, bitter with me. He tried to get back at me by trying to, fuck me over because of my car. So he knew that my car meant a lot to me, and he would try to get me at where it most hurt. So he knew that if he would get somebody to steal my car, that I would not know that it was him behind it, because, it was in Atlanta. So, things happen. People that he trusted in doing that, because when I came outside and they didn't successfully achieve doing that, they either had to kill him and wrap his body in a hospital gown and threw his body where that body was found in Westlake, Atlanta. I told his sister that, and of course his sister thought I was crazy because they said they was in denial of it. Because they said they had to go identify the body because it was unidentified. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of the news report so you can read it and you can, dissect it with me and tell me it's like this is not like evidence of how coincidental it is that it's an unidentified body, with a male unidentified body between the ages of 20 and 30. And on top of that, besides that news report, ever since that happened, I don't have two dreams with him. One where we are in a Jeep in the mountains, riding, smoking weed with big tall trees, and we're having a conversation. And in one of the conversations, he tells me to tell the truth. Tell the truth because I know the truth. So I've been trying to put this away because I want to bring justice to this because I know their family is suffering because of this. I suffer too because I didn't, I went through a backstab, and after that I was lost in Atlanta and went through another situation that got me in another situation, misled and stuff. That I'm glad that I'm no longer in that dark stage of my life, because I'm really a strong person because I'm here to tell my story. And then it's like, after everything I've been through, I'm still alive and I'm still here kicking it and doing my best with as much integrity and love as possible. I don't care if my character gets assassinated and whatever they say to me. God knows my heart and the universe knows the truth. And I'm not willing to keep hurting myself for that because I know the truth. A lot of people are blind to the truth, so they're going to call you crazy or being disrespectful because James makes contact with me through dreams, and he makes contact through me through music, through songs. We used to, like when we was ride, we always have our favorite songs and playlists and stuff, and numbers. He makes contact with me through numbers, through words, anything. And I know he's close to me, and I always feel his spirit close. And I've been so lucky to be blessed with the gift that I have, that I've been scared at the same time to let the world know because of what they're going to say. So I have put that side of me away out of fear of what they're going to say, how they're going to look at me. But I know that he is no longer in this physical realm. I know he is. And I just decided to just do not do this anymore because for my own well-being, I still have a life to live, and I have, I'm gonna kill them with success because a lot of people say, all they know me was like as an addict, and they can throw the past. They can throw the past in my face all they want, love, but one doesn't know themselves until one really knows themselves, and I know thyself.
A few things still remain a mystery in regards to James's disappearance. James traveled to Atlanta with belongings such as a computer, his wallet, clothing, a phone, in which none of those items have been returned to the family. Edwin also mentioned that they were with other people. Who were those people? As disturbing as the story that you just heard is, it's only a portion of the voice messages that were actually sent. With all this being said, for some odd reason, Edwin still hasn't been taken in for further questioning. And from my understanding, when the family went to the police with the recordings, they were told that he would have to voluntarily come in. And another mysterious twist, all of the posts that were made on Instagram about James's disappearance have vanished without an alert or without a notice. We may never get the real answer as to what happened to James, but what we can do is continue to put pressure on law enforcement, because one thing is for certain, James's quote-unquote friend, Edwin, played a much larger role in his disappearance than he originally stated.
Our friendship turned more of like a competition. Ego took over, and we was both more like competition. We was both competing with each other because every person that we met we wanted to give him a reading. Oh, you want a tarot card reading?